A burst pipe? A dead water heater? The AC calling it quits? Who do you call? HomeServe is an easy way to handle unexpected home repairs with plans covering stuff basic homeowners insurance usually won't. Instead of scrambling for a contractor, you make one call to get the repair process started. Join the millions of customers who trust HomeServe right now. Go to homeserve.com/podcast for 50% less your first year. That's homeserve.com/podcast. Savings compared to renewal price void in Florida.
What is up, my Mattalk friends? Man, John. Andy Griffith, good actor. Benjamin Matlock, not so much a good actor.
Oh, we're going to discover that on this episode of Matlock. It's I don't want to say too much right now. And I do want to say one thing real quick to the folks that are watching. I'm a little under the weather. I got a little bit of the sniffles. So you have to bear with me. Hopefully I've, gotten everything out of my system and I'm good to go. But who knows? There might be a random sneeze or cough or nose wiping break, if you will. I know that was gross and TMI, but anyways. So how are you, Jason? Since I'm under the weather, you got to be doing better than me.
Dude, I'm doing well. Cannot wait to be off work today. Podcasting today, because I got some stuff I want to watch. But I've been good, man. It's been a good week. It's been a good month. Finally, the end of the month for work is always super, super stressful. So got past that. So last week was kind of more chill than the week prior, and I'm here for it.
Cool. All right. Justin, our faithful producer, is behind the scenes. He gives us the thumbs up. He's doing well. So that's good that we're all moderately doing well. So, but before we get into Matt Talk, what have you been watching, Jason?
Not as much as I usually do. I've been watching I've been re-binged all of that and then rewatched the new episode today, which I got to post a review about later. I've been watching, there's a show on Apple TV called Widow's Bay. It stars Matthew Rhys. It's a combination like horror comedy, more horror than comedy, but the few horror moments are pretty terrifying, and I'm digging that so far because Apple TV is just stellar.
Well, I just saw the commercials for Apple TV's doing a Cape Fear remake, which I was unaware that was even happening. So I'm going to have to watch it because I have mixed feelings about both of the Cape Fear. I fear, for me, I think that the ending of the original one is lame, and the ending to the more modern 1990s version is better. But yet I don't like the first half of the 91 version. So it's kind of like a mixed bag. Like, I think if you took those two movies, the original one and the one from 1990, and you kind of merged and put the first part, Act 1 and 2, with Act 3 and vice versa, that it's a better movie. But I'll give it a shot. I'll be interested to see how they do that.
I like the remake, the 91 version, and I may or may not be watching that later today.
Okay. All right. Well, speaking of which, movies that are hard hitting and terrifying and whatnot, the wife and I agreed that we were going to watch Taxi Driver. And the reason for that is because, as Jason well knows this podcast, there's a podcast out there called What Went Wrong? Cheap plug for them. And basically, the premise of the podcast is going through a movie and then telling the backstory about how it got made and all the trouble that it took to make it, because it doesn't matter. One thing I've learned, it doesn't matter what movie you're making, whether it's a great movie or a crap movie, it's going to have some problems. And so this shows that, this podcast shows that through their various different selections. And so they did a Taxi Driver episode, actually 2 episodes on Taxi Driver. One was about the John Hinckley Jr. assassination, how it was influenced by Taxi Driver, and then the actual movie. My wife had never seen it. We both are the same. It's okay. There's some good parts to it. There's some not so great parts to it. I just think it's kind of middle of the road. I've seen it before. I saw it about 10 years ago, and yeah, my opinion hasn't changed. It's still an okay film,
Man, we got Hot Take Orlando all over the place today. I love it, man. Taxi Driver, Cape Fear, man. What go 3 for 3, John. Give us another hot take.
Another hot take. Man. WWE PLEs are garbage anymore because there's so many advertisements. For those that don't know, Backlash was last night. It was a PLE. They had 6 matches, but it almost took 3.5 hours because of all the commercials and everything, which I know that's the way that things are going, where with streaming, you got to have more ads and because of ad revenue, but it gets to be a little bit annoying, man, when you have in between matches, like 5 to 7 minutes of commercials in between. Now, granted, I could buy the updated ESPN app, but I'm not doing that because I pay enough for my streaming services. So there you go. There you go. I threw in, that one was off the cuff. That one I wasn't planned to rant about, but there you go.
All right, man, let's get into this episode.
Okay, well then let's go ahead and jump on into our opening statements. The title of this episode is called The Play, and the original air date is September 23rd, 1993. And we don't have that many guest stars. We do have a couple here that have some notable roles. The first one, and this is a French name, so I'm going to maybe butcher it. I apologize. René Auberjonis, I believe is how it's pronounced. He is, of course, playing the role of Doug. You may know him as Paul Lewiston on Boston Legal. You may also know him as Reverend Oliver in The Patriot. He played several characters over 173 episodes of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. He also played Walter on Madam Secretary. He was President Buchanan in the made-for-TV movie called Raising Buchanan. He was Winslow on 1600 Penn. He was Pepe Le Pew in the Looney Tunes show, Father Patrick Murphy on Saving Grace, Dr. Tewksbury on Frasier, and over 200 more credits to Renee's name. Any that I overlooked that you would like to discuss, Jason?
You did not, but if you haven't seen Boston Legal, everybody do yourself a favor.
I knew you were going to say that. Here's my thing. Like, I want to be in the pitch meeting for a movie about President James Buchanan. I mean, besides not being married and some rumors of his sexuality, that's the only thing I know about James Buchanan. So
I don't know anything about James Buchanan.
Well, there you go. He was the only bachelor president, and back in the day, that meant So, all right, let's talk about our second guest star, Amy Parrish. She plays the role of Beth Samuels. You may also know her as Mrs. Jacoby on Ozark, Cecile Shane on Good Behavior, Sherry Smith on One Tree Hill, Troy's mom on Stranger Things. She also plays Irene on Will Trent, Judy Cohen on Dope Sick, Jen Rosenberg on Homeland, Shauna Stewart on House of Cards, Becca Schultz in the DC TV show Constantine, and many other credits. One thing that I would like to mention real quick, you mentioned Boston Legal. Did you watch House of Cards?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I did. How do you get Boston Legal and House of Cards? You watched Boston Legal, so you had to have watched House of Cards because those two shows are very different. Very different.
Okay, yes, you got me on that one.
I did.
I watched several episodes of it, and I just became so disenchanted with it. I just basically, for me, it was like, I think this is exactly how things run in the world of Washington, D.C. Like, I was not surprised by any of the shenanigans that went on in that show. So for me, I watched, 4 episodes or 5 episodes of the first season. I was like, yeah, no, I'm done. So that's how
I liked it quite a bit.
Even the last episodes without him.
I didn't watch them.
Oh, you didn't watch them? You just you jumped out?
Yeah, not for any other reason other than just I didn't watch them.
Okay.
Because I really liked her on the show.
Robin Penn?
Mm-hmm.
Or Robin Penn Wright. I'm not sure which she goes by now.
I think she's down to Robin Wright, but I think at the time it was Robin Penn Wright.
Yeah, I thought so. So, all right, Jason, it's time for me to ask you that question, that lovely question. Of course, I'm talking about. I need you to give me your opinion, only your opinion. It's only your opinion, as I said it twice, because I'm on massive amounts of decongestant and I'm probably foggy upstairs. But nonetheless, it's time to testify. All right, the plot of this episode, ladies and gentlemen.
John. What? I got to cut you off for a second because we got to wish a happy birthday to our good friend and listener, Liz, who frequents on our show as well. Liz, I hope you have a wonderful birthday / Mother's Day. You get a 2 for today, and I hope you enjoy it.
And you know what? We even forgot to mention that actually to all the mothers out there that are watching. Thank you, and have a very good Mother's Day. I can't believe we didn't hit that right off the top.
Yeah, John, you're slacking.
Me? You, the one that coaxed me into doing a third Hot Take Orlando segment.
Yeah, man. Well, you coming in strong. Like, man, Cape Fear's okay. Taxi Driver's okay. Goodfellas is okay.
Oh, no. Goodfellas is excellent. No. Don't throw Goodfellas in there. All right. Jeez. Anyways, the plot of the episode is an actress is murdered, and Ben agrees to represent the director who's accused of the crime. All right. So
it's funny because this episode got 1 minute in, and I'm calling John. I'm like, this show's gotten weird, but doesn't mean that's my opinion throughout the rest of the series.
All right. So our opening scene is Ben singing in a theater, and he's singing very off tune, and it's quite awful. Ben is also using a weird bunch of hand gestures. Who does that when they're acting? Leanne is involved in this community play as well, as is Cliff Lewis. So we have the 3-pack, if you will, all involved in this community theater. Ben loses his lines. All right, so this is the second thing, because the first thing was his singing, but the second thing showing his ineptitude is, of course, he forgets his lines. Then he drops a knife out of his pocket, and he couldn't get it out of his pocket to begin with. So the director is so frustrated that he said, everybody take 5. So the director meets with Ben and is saying, look, you're not playing your role correctly. So the director gives a pep talk. And I wrote down just some of the things that he said. He said, Ben, we need passion. Reach down inside of yourself. Reality. These are all the things that that the director gave in terms of advice to Ben. So what do you think of those pieces of little nuggets of truth, Jason?
He needed something. Ben needed something because his acting is atrocious.
Yes, it is absolutely the worst. The director, though, goes and leans on the main actress and said, look, you got your work cut out for you. You're going to have to counter Ben. And I believe that is Jane, who is the lead actress. So, all right. Doug is the director, and Carl infuriates Doug when Carl takes a phone call from his broker. All right. In fact, Doug explodes. He gives a rant. I don't know what else you want to call it. A yelling, the third degree, whatever. He definitely is super ticked off by that. And rightfully so, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
You should have your phone off. There's a lunch break.
You're acting in a play with the world's worst actor, Benjamin Matlock, and you should enjoy it.
Hey, I mean, I have my phone on silent right now.
Do you?
I do. You
He
don't?
does not have his cat on silent, though, folks.
No, I can't help, lady. I mean, you know. Anyways, Doug wants Beth to rewrite the script to cut some lines for Ben. All right. So then we cut to all three, Leanne, Cliff, and Ben, walking away from the playhouse, discussing their performances. And this is so ridiculous. Ben is giving advice to Leanne on how to act. I was like, come on, you got to be kidding me. You of all people. And then when Cliff says, how can I perform my one line? How can I perform it better? Ben's like, he has no advice for him. No advice. Now, just as a side note, for those of you that maybe are joining us for the first time, I take my notes by hand in a notebook. I wrote down that Glenda's name was Linda. So I have Linda posted throughout all of it. And I'm like, wait, no, that's not Linda. So if I screw up and call her Linda, I apologize because I wrote the name wrong. All right. So Glenda, she accuses Doug of being handsy. All right. Backstage, she runs into him and she's like, oh, you're pretty handsy there with Jane. And well, what do you know? Billy Lewis, who's the stage manager of this production, is setting up some lights, and he overhears the whole thing because Doug and Glenna were having an affair with one another. So, Jason, so far, what do you think of the episode?
I'm kind of here for it because Ben's attempt to act is, I think, funny.
Oh, I no doubt that's the comedy of the episode. Yeah, no doubt. And in fact, I have right down here my next note: Ben doing more bad acting. He forgets his lines, and again, Doug explodes, and he chews out everyone, including Glenda, who hauls off and slaps him something stupid. I mean, if that's not weird, I don't know what is. And I think the cast picked up on the fact that there was something going on.
Mm-hmm.
Ben with more horrible acting. Doug and Beth argue about Ben. The name, I guess the fact of Ben got into this role is because he's the name, so to speak. He's the name that's going to hopefully sell tickets, which, okay, at that point, I'm like, we know that he's well known, but is he that well known that he's going to flood the playhouse with people that are like, oh, I got to go see him? I don't know.
He's defended at least 300 accused murderers so far. So,
well,
I mean, if they come as a favor.
That's true. That's true. I got a whole, ladies and gentlemen, give me one moment to blow my nose, please.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. So, I think we have comments. Do we have comments? Hi, Jessica. All right. Yeah, so why John does that, let's talk about more television you guys should watch. If you're not watching From, highly recommend it. Go also check out the show Will Trent. It's a lot of fun. 911 had a wild ending, and I'd love to talk to you about it. Just hit me up on IG. Hi, John. Welcome back.
All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This is a battle. I'm battling the cold, as I said at the beginning of the show, so I don't want to be rude and blow my nose in your ears. But, yeah, so we got Ben with more horrible acting. And Doug and Beth, they argue a little bit about Ben. Again, I'm recapping just in case some folks missed it. Ben is the big name attached to this project. Doug and Ben have a meeting in the lobby. And Doug goes, "Hey, look, this ain't working out, man. Ben, you're just not working out. I'm sorry. I mean, I'd love to keep you, but I got to replace you." And I like how Ben's like, "How are you going to replace me in such short notice?" And he's like, "Please, unemployed actors are a dime a dozen."
Yeah, because Ben doesn't realize he's bad. He thinks he's actually good.
Yes, exactly. And I will say this: Billy Lewis, after Doug cans Ben, like Billy Lewis came over and was actually really nice to him, because I literally thought that the words that were going to come out of Billy's mouth was something about, "Well, now you know how my sister feels when you rejected her." Ugh. But no, he got some very kind, comforting words.
So did Billy Lewis move to Atlanta?
We never got that story. That's never been mentioned. I don't believe. Yeah, he left that podunk town and he's living in the suburbs of Atlanta, as is Cliff and Leanne and Ben.
Well, I get why Cliff is there, but yeah, Billy just moved to Atlanta to hang out with the ex almost brother-in-law that he doesn't like.
Yeah, I don't. It's complicated. It's complicated. That's what their Facebook status would say. Billy Lewis, Benjamin Matlock. It's complicated. Glenda now gets strangled in her dressing room as she's putting a contact in her eye, and Billy Lewis is the one that finds the body. Luckily, he's been around and he knows what not to do, which is what, Jason?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Your pet peeve.
Oh, touch the body.
Yes, there you go. Contaminate the crime scene. He doesn't seem to do it. So there we go. So we go to Ben's house, and Billy is telling Ben all about Glenda's murder. All right, about the cops came and et cetera, et cetera. And so right before the scene ends, Leanne gives a pep talk to Ben. Look, Dad, I mean, Doug doesn't know what he's doing. You know, you weren't that bad. Although Billy disagrees and says, you stank. Or you stunk, one of the two. Ben gets a call. And the call is from Doug. And Doug wants Ben to represent him because he's been arrested and he's the prime suspect. And so Billy spills the beans on what he saw, all right, meaning that Doug and Glenda were having an affair. And in fact, Billy was like, you shouldn't even represent that guy because he's bad news. So we go to the police headquarters where Doug tells Leanne and Ben all about the affair. They talk about how there's fibers from Doug's tie that matches some of the other fibers. Doug calls out Ben on his sulking. Doug apologizes to Ben. And so Ben said, hey, I'll represent you, but I want my part in the playback. Not $100,000. No. Although he does say I'm pretty steep, I'm pretty expensive, and Doug was like, I'm rich, I don't care. And still though, I want my part in the playback.
And this is talk about getting favors for a acting gig.
I have some strong feelings about that scene. We're gonna come back to it.
Ben is performing tricks to get into acting.
Do we have some other comments, Justin, real quick? Love 911. Thanks, Jessica. And I watched Will Trent too, but it's getting boring.
Wow, okay. Take that back. You know what else has been really good? Matlock. It actually resolved the big storyline.
You mean the modern day version?
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Anyways, so Leanne and Cliff start reviewing a bunch of work history with Glenda. And so Glenda apparently works at a bank, and Glenda is the boss. And Jane, who is in the play, works at the bank too, but she was a loan officer. But then she was busted and broke down to being just a regular teller. And Leanne is like, well, why did you stay? And she was like, well, because it was a merger with the banks, and a job is better than no job, et cetera, et cetera. But there's the hint that there's a little animosity between Jane and Glenda. Cliff is practicing his lines, by the way, through the entire interrogation or interview, if you will, with Glenda, or excuse me, with Jane. Cliff and Leanne, they leave, and it is there that they decide there's something fishy going on, all right? Because Glenda cut Jane's salary almost in half. All right, so then Leanne's at Glenda's home. The front door is unlocked, and she finds Beth going through some things. She has a bunch of books, which I was like, okay, that doesn't seem to be very important, all right? But what we find out in this scene is that Glenda is actually the biological mother of Beth, all right? But Glenda did not know that. And so Beth had come from New York all the way down to Georgia to kind of be in Glenda's life, but not outwardly affection, or not outwardly that she was going to be her mom.
Yeah, that makes me sad that they didn't get to connect before she passed.
Well,
I know it's pretend, but it still makes me sad.
Yeah, it does, but it also seems to me like it's a throwaway plot point, if you will. I don't. I mean, yes, it makes it seem that maybe, just maybe, Beth could have killed her, but I don't know. So Leanne leaves instead of running lines with her father. She's back at the house in the next scene, and she's talking to Ben about it. And Ben's like, "Hey, do you want to help me run lines?" She's like, "Oh, darn, Dad, I got this thing I got to do, and we'll do it later." So the cast welcomes Ben back to the show, and Doug's wife, Flora, replaces Glenda. But people are still a little bit suspicious of Beth, all right, because the night of the murder, she wasn't where she was supposed to be. There's more bad acting from Ben Matlock, which I've said that now like 5 times. Doug now is just totally kissing up because of his court situation. He thinks that Ben is good, all right, and Beth disagrees. So we go to a scene where it's opening night, and there's going to be critics and press in the crowd watching. And Ben all of a sudden gets nervous. But we do find out where Beth was. Beth was over off to the side of the stage using Carl's cell phone to make a phone call. And she was over there for about 27 minutes, which, if I remember correctly, in 1993, that equals $800 for that phone call.
Probably, just about.
Yeah. So I wanted to write down, did she wait till 7 o'clock when minutes were free? Anyways, Leanne finds Ben in the dressing room, and he's all nervous, and Leanne jokes about Ben's anxiety. She's like, "Dad, come on. You perform all the time in front of countless courts."
Yeah, naturally.
Naturally, yeah. And then Ben tries to weasel his way out of the play. He's like, "Well, maybe I'll just go ahead and, and I'll just let somebody else take the role." And then Leanne reminds him that there's no understudy. This is community theater. So it's opening night. More bad acting from Ben. Again, he couldn't pull the knife out properly. And at the end of the act, Ben runs off to Glenda's dressing room because he saw something during the act, the scene that they had just performed on stage. And so he's in there and he's looking around, and Billy shows up and is like, "We need you, Ben. You can't run away." And Ben's like, "Nope, we're going to finish this." And Ben gives a devilish grin as Billy wraps up his pep talk. So then we go to the courtroom. We have Jane on the stand. Ben is going over this whole demotion type of angle. You were demoted, you lost some salary, et cetera, et cetera. Jane did a bunch of personal errands for Glenda. All right. I write down blackmail ? Like she had to wash her car, pick up her dry cleaning, do this, do that. I enjoyed the judge was giving Ben a little bit of a hard time. "You're reaching, Matlock." Fingernails. Fingernails are the big clue. Ben's like, "Don't those get in the way of you at work?" "Jane, why'd you have your nails done?" And she goes, "Well,
that's the most unrealistic thing in this episode, because men never notice when women get their nails done.
True that. But
sorry, ladies. We should notice, and it's a flaw of ours, but we don't.
We don't notice that. We don't. Or if you get a new hairdo. Yeah, you took it right from me, man. Anyways.
Unless we were told ahead of time, and then even then we probably forgotten.
So Jane said she got her nails done for the play, but Ben theorizes that she showed up in the dressing room of Glenda, and she's ready to strangle her. There's a struggle that ensues. 2 of her fingernails get ripped off, and she gets rid of them by trying to put them down the drain in the sink in the dressing room. And then she gets the fingernails done. And the nail tech is there and ready to testify that she put on those nails, and she was missing 2 nails, and her fingers were bruised up. So the other thing is that Glenda was not anyways near the sink. She was way over on the other side of the room. So meaning that somebody had to drag her to make it look like something different had happened. So Glenda was using Jane as a slave, so to speak. And she knew about the embezzling, because that's what this is all about, that maybe Jane was embezzling money from the bank. Doug is found not guilty. And then Billy shows up with a newspaper review. And how does the performance get rated? Hot garbage, ladies and gentlemen. It's so bad.
So good. It's so bad it's good.
That's right.
Technically how it gets rated.
Yes, that is like, it's kind of like, if you will, Tommy Wiseau in The Room, for those folks that know some bad cinema when they see it. But, all right, Jason, anything else you want to mention here real quick, or should we jump on into our closing statements?
Let's jump right into our closing statements, John.
All right, let's do it. It's time for our closing statements.
This is the part of the podcast where John and I will rate this show on a gavel system. 1 gavel means 5 gavels means we loved it, and negative 20 gavels means I'm just going to bad act the rest of this show. John, how do you rate this episode?
Quickly, can you pull a knife out of your pocket real quick for me? Anyways.
Pull a lighter.
Huh?
Pull
Get a lighter. What? Do you have candles down there that you light while you podcast?
I do.
All right, that's awesome. I gave it 2.5 gavels. I have a big problem with Ben holding the part in the play over Doug's head to represent him. I have a real problem with that because I feel like that is so against the grain of what Ben Matlock has done in 7 other seasons. That this is just out of left field, and it just, for me, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work for me.
It's totally within character. Ben is petty. He doesn't like to lose, and not having that part means he lost. No, it's totally within character. I gave it 3. I liked it, I think, more than you did. I actually thought you were rated a lot lower than you did. I rated 3 because the bad acting I thought was kind of funny, and this is definitely the best episode we've had in some time.
Okay, I give you that, yeah, because we've had some stinkers these last couple of episodes. I thought too that the murder plot was really good because it would make sense if you were, embezzling money, you would want to keep that on the hush hush, and then when it was found out and held over your head, like that makes sense. I actually put down that I really liked Billy in this episode, which I know I don't say that very often, but a different side of Billy, which I really enjoyed. And again, like I said, just the negative for me is I guess we're going to agree to disagree because I really don't see Ben holding this over his head. I agree with you. He is petty at times, but
people in the comments, let us know what you think by emailing us, benmattalk@gmail.com, or writing it in the comments below.
And also, you can follow us on Facebook. Mattalk Podcast is that handle there. All right, Jason, should we start wrapping things up here, man?
Let's do it, John.
All right, what's going on with the 3 Geeks Podcast?
Everything is going on with the 3 Geeks Podcast. No, we're live every Saturday at 7. We have interviews running Monday through Friday at noon. And, lots of fun stuff coming up this week.
All right, and what's going on with my personal podcasting project, the PVD Cast? Well, right now I got a great interview with a local comic book creator, Victor Dandridge, and he's got so many cool projects to talk about, and we even in which we even talk about he has a new job, a new position in his life, and we talk about how that impacts him. And Lainey has joined us, the cat of Mattalk podcasting. I would love to show her on camera, but she does not like being picked up by anybody. I'm glad people found that funny. But anyways, so check it out, pvdcast.com or wherever you find great podcasts. All right, Jason, should we get on out of here?
We shall, John, as they say in court.
Nothing further.
Tired of your car insurance rate going up, even with a clean driving record? You're not alone. That's why there's Jerry, your proactive insurance assistant. Jerry compares rates side by side from over 50 top insurers and helps you switch with ease. Jerry even tracks market rates and alerts you when it's best to shop, No spam calls, no hidden fees. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Switch with confidence. Download the Jerry app or visit jerry.ai/Libsyn today. That's JERRY.ai/LIBSYN.